Hi, this is the Be Well with Michelle Greenwell podcast. Our heartwarming conversation is designed to lift you on your wellness journey. Grab your cup of tea and enjoy the podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of the Be Well with Dr. Michelle Greenwell podcast. I'm very excited to be starting this transformational series because I'm going to start looking at not only how our self-care is really taking care of us, but what it means globally. And so many of us focus on ourselves and then often judge ourselves for not having achieved what we thought we wanted to achieve, or not having the willpower, the stamina, the strength, etc., to accomplish the healthcare that they hope for. But what I really want to look at is not so much what it is we're doing for ourselves, but how what we do for ourselves is impacting others. And I don't think we often look at it from that perspective. And I think it's a perspective that might change the way you think about your day and the way that you engage in activities and with other people. With each podcast, I always like to highlight a tea. And over the last 4 seasons, we've highlighted a lot of tea. We've talked about different herbs and how they relate to each other. Today, I'm going to take 2 tea blends and I'm going to talk about how these 2 teas support each other in relation to the goal that we have with having a transformational change for our world because of how we take care of ourselves. So I'm in my cup today, which is my friendship mug. I'm going to just highlight this. A lovely friend of mine gave this to me when I moved from Alberta. So it has a scene on it that reminds me of Alberta and the mountains and the water, the rivers. And when I sip from this, I like to think about the people that I'd like to connect with. And what I put inside of it today is the Nova Scotia Harvest Tea. And I chose that because when I'm harvesting or bringing the tastes that come from Cape Breton or come from Nova Scotia, I'm really talking about how I'm connecting with nature and how nature and I can interact and support each other. And the affirmation on the package is, reflect on the beauty of nature, for she shines a light on the sweetest gifts each season, embrace with joy. And I think sometimes we're a little bit too busy to notice. We get in the car, we put the radio on, we're listening to the news, or we're listening to a podcast, and we're watching this world go by outside, but we might not necessarily be really looking at it. And from the perspective of when you step out of your house or out of the building where you're working, and you go to connect with the ground, in what way are you connecting to the ground? And how are you providing yourself with the nurturance of nature, but also the reflection back to nature that you see it and that you appreciate it. And the sky is so beautiful. And what are the clouds doing? And where's the sun? There's so many ways that we can really be engaged in our world, which is all healing on both sides. All right. In this tea, it's a green tea. So we know that that's got high antioxidants. That's what most people usually talk about. But it also has maple syrup, which is something that we have here, which we're very lucky to have. Not everyone in the world gets to taste the maple syrup. And it's combined with blueberries, apple, calendula, safflower, cornflower, sunflower, and rose petals. And really, I'm just going to hold this up. I'm hoping you can see it. It looks like confetti inside the package. And one of the things about this particular tea blend is when I go to make it, I just smile because I look at all the petals that are in there and think of the flowers and the harvesting that was done in order to create this particular blend. And it just makes me smile thinking about the confetti. Confetti is like a party to me. And so I wanted to bring that forward because that lends us to the first part of the conversation and where I will say cheers. And I hope you have something in your mug while you're listening to my podcast that you can be engaging with herbs as well. I'm going to say cheers, because thank you for being here and listening and thinking from a different perspective and opening up to some new ideas that may help you with your self-care. So here we go. That maple just pops right out. I just love it. Now, to combine with nature, I also want to talk about community and a sense of community. You know that we've had several podcasts about the Moyo family in Malawi, and I'm so pleased and honored to be able to share their story, but also to be providing a difference for them in some of the things they may not ever get to achieve just because I can send financial donations that come from the sales of this one tea. So I'm talking about the Mission for Change community tea. Let's see if I can get that without the sunbeam on there. And this tea is about in community, we are empowered for change. And again, when we're looking at self-care and thinking about how we engage in ourselves and taking care of ourselves, in what way does that change our family? What way does it change our relationship with our friends? And in what way does it change the community that we live in and the way we interact within that community? On a bigger scale, the Malawi family, right? The Moyos are all the way around the world from here. And to be able to be making a difference in a country that doesn't have all the luxuries that we have here, it is really wonderful to be able to know about and to be able to care about the way that they're living and what possibilities there are for them. I just want to draw attention to the herbs, and on my YouTube channel, so if you go to @MichelleGreenwell, I actually did 6 videos just on this tea alone and the relationship of the herbs to each other. So you can look that up if you want to take a look. So we've got the red bush rooibos, hibiscus, rosehip shells, lemon balm, peppermint, strawberry leaves, black currant leaves, blackberry leaves, lemongrass, orange blossom, lavender, heather flowers, rose petals, and chamomile. Now, there's a lot of favorites in there, I know. There's also a lot of favorites that come from the garden, and particularly what we can grow here in North America and in Canada where I live. So I want to draw attention to those herbs once again, and the idea of how we can connect with community through a tea, and how we can connect with each other through nature, and really being connected to what's happening in our world. So now let's dive into, what does your self-care journey mean for you? For me, it means that when I start my day, I have my BioEnergetic Wellness Formula, which in the last season, I did a whole episode just on the formula. This comes from my dissertation work at Acoma University, and I identified some really key pieces that allow us to energetically shift with ease and flow towards our goals. And so I live that way. So first thing in the morning, looking at my intention for the day, the goals that I might want to achieve. That might be a to-do list, but it's not always a to-do list. And when I have those goals in mind, then I'm looking at awareness. How am I feeling today? So how easy was it for me to walk down the stairs, get out of bed? Was I feeling like I wanted to jump out of bed? And as I go about the first part of my routine for the day, what is my energy level at? And are there any aches and complaints that I should be aware of? So I look at those pieces, and then I choose a way to activate it. So I often will start with 2 glasses of water in the morning to make sure I'm hydrated. I will choose a tea, and I will be specific about the affirmation that's on the tea package, get my tea made, and then that tea might go with me to Tai Chi, but also might just stay in the house, and my husband and I will drink it. And then from there, I will start to go into maybe some activities. So I might be participating in doing some Tai Chi. I might be looking at going outside, connecting in nature, and I might just be connecting with beautiful pets that I have in my house that roam in and out of my office, for those of you who've seen them. And then that brings me to intuition. So as I've set my goals and I put things in place, I've energetically activated all of it, then what happens is I start to have either information that starts to come to me because of how I set my goals, or I start to have ideas that I hadn't even thought about in relation to my goals, just because I set my day up. That's where I was going to be heading. Now, the other part is there's this other little component called community. And I have talked about that before. And what I have chosen to do is when I start my day, every interaction that I have with another person, or if it's with my cats, then it's a healing interaction. That means I've already set up that I know that when I interact with somebody for the intention of healing, my enzymes immediately go to balancing my system. And so I like to bring that into attention as I go about my day and my sense of community. I know as soon as I step outside, energetically, I just change because of being outside in nature. And the more time I spend there, the more my body is able to really adjust and balance. So I try to keep that in mind. And I also try to do that when I'm interacting with other people. A lot of what I do in the community is volunteer work. My Tai Chi is volunteer, as well as Toast and Tea, which many of you may have seen in the Edible magazine this month. And that is a contribution to the community where I'm able to give back, but I get to stand and say good morning to a whole bunch of people on Tuesday mornings. And I love that because every interaction is a healing interaction and we have a room filled with people. And it's just so heart-filling to be able to bring people together in that way and then listen to the conversations that are going on. So now I want you to think about your day, because this is also about you. And this is about how are you cultivating the energy and vitality you want in your day? And how are you creating a formula for yourself that is an energy activating formula? My recommendation is use the formula that I know from my dissertation works, and then add the pieces to it that energy activate your day. Now, for some people, you may choose activities that come from our BioEnergetic Essentials book. Now, that book you can get for free as a download on the canbewell.org website. You go to the main page, it'll say free ebook download, and just click on the button and it'll be right there for you. There are a lot of tools in there that are just one of simple little exercises that you can do at the start of the day, at the end of the day, to help you sleep better, to get over the afternoon doldrums, or when you start feeling a little bit sleepy. There's lots of ways that you can be connecting. So I encourage you to download that and see what you have there. You can also go to the greenwellcenter.com, and on my main page, there's going to be a little pop-up window that's going to arrive, and it has the top 8 stress releasers. So you can download that PDF, and that's going to give you some ways that as you notice the tension starts to build up in your body, you can easily activate any one of those to start to bring the stress down. Now, the other thing you can do is subscribe to my blog posts, because I often am sharing more information about healthcare, wellness, self-care, things that you can do to support yourself. And that might be a way for you to start to build your wellness toolbox. Now, the next piece that I would ask you to do is to take a look at the people you have in your community. So it might be in your family, might be in your friends, could be in your colleagues at work, could be where you're studying, could be going to the gym, could be out in nature. There's some groups that you like to go cycling with or hiking. Figure out who are the people in the groups that really bring you up and really support you and nourish you. And when you leave them, you think, that was really fun, or that was such a great conversation. And then start to build a list or a little place where you just kind of think about those people and then how you can engage with them more. And I want you to start to think about how that cultivation is going to change who you are, but it's also going to change who they are. And it's also going to grow that network and that community. Now, why is that important? I want to draw attention to World Tai Chi and Qigong Day, which just happened this past Saturday. And when Bill and Angie Douglas first thought about having a day that is recognized for Tai Chi and Qigong, they never imagined when they first started that it would be in over 80 countries and that there would be millions of people doing Tai Chi on one day. Now, there might have been people doing Tai Chi on one day or Qigong, but they weren't connected. They hadn't built a network. They hadn't found a way to bring their voices together. and Bill and Angie have done that. And I just felt so honored to be able to celebrate another year with them, but also to feel how connected am I to this incredible knowledge, experience, and wealth of health care that comes from Tai Chi. And I got to do that on Saturday, and it just is so uplifting. There's that global transformation piece. Now, the global transformation project that Bill and Angie have put in is putting Tai Chi at the forefront of education and asking the UN to be able to put Tai Chi in every classroom so that students have a way to regulate their stress levels, a way to be engaged in movement activities that can calm them, and a way to become a part of community. And when we come to Tai Chi, the first reason we come is because we have aches and complaints and we want to fix something. We all understand that. It's a motivator. But what happens is we start to realize we're not actually there for ourselves. We're there for the people in the class. Some people need more energy assistance than others. And some aren't feeling well, but we can help support them. And by coming together, we can create that change. The other piece is every day around the world, people are doing Tai Chi. And that means we can tap into the energy that's happening every day because of that cultivation. Now, when we connect with each other, you can imagine how much more powerful the healing can become. You also know that conversations can grow. Tai Chi Cape Breton, which is the group that I gather to do Tai Chi here on Cape Breton Island, is also paired with Wine Country Tai Chi Society in West Kelowna, BC. And that is a way for us to communicate with each other, but also to support and engage. And that's changing community as well. You can see how these networks happen. So a lot of people will say, across the years and all the things that I've done across having my dance studio and running dance programs, but also doing performances, we were always in a place where we were engaging in community and we were making a difference. We were helping and we were feeling great about being involved in performance and sharing the arts. And all of that over time has been continuing to cultivate and grow. And people would often say that if you talk to Michelle, you'll get sucked in. It's like a vacuum cleaner. And it's true. But the reason that people continue to come and be attracted to some of the activities that I am involved in is because there's fun, there's joy, there's this beautiful uplift that happens when we get to connect with each other. And that's what I want you to start to think about with your own self-care. If you've been thinking about you have aches and complaints, but you actually kind of ignore them, or you put the Band-Aid on, put a cream on, or take some herbs, or maybe you have some medicine that you take, and you just are masking that underlying signal that's coming to you that your body is needing more in order to come into balance, then I invite you to now start to listen to those cues. Start to think about how could I take what I'm hearing and how could I go find a way to alleviate some of those challenges? And what would my life be like if I did that? And who might I be introduced to? Who might I interact more with? And how might I change as a result of that? And the people on the other end of that, because you've gone looking, are going to be finding you. They're going to be finding all of the wonderful things about you that can support them. And this is where we really start to make a difference with our self-care. It is no longer about, I'm an island, I can fix it myself, or I'm just going to ignore it, so I'm going to put the Band-Aid on top of it, and I'm just going to carry on and push myself through. It's no more about that. Now it's about a sense of belonging, a sense of community, a sense of interaction. And that is what's so important. So as you get ready to listen to all of the incredible conversations that are coming for season 5, I want you to start to look at your self-care, look at the list that you have on your wellness checklist of activities you have, energy boost yourself, know how you want to start your day, know how you want to continue your day and how you want to finish it. And of course, gratitude is really, really important. So for when you have all these lovely interactions that are happening, make sure you say thank you. Make sure you show some kind of gratitude. And if it has to be that it's in words, it's in a card, it's in something vocal, it's a hug that you give, or it's something you give back to yourself. So that hug is coming back to you. It is so important because we want to have gratitude, but we're doing a great job for ourselves and we're listening and growing, and we want to honor that. All right. This is the start of season 5. I have already got a few of the interviews ready to go, so I look forward to launching them in the next couple of weeks. And I will continue to help you on your journey of self-care by providing you with resources, ideas and plans, and new ways that you can become engaged in community. If you have not purchased a bag of Mission for Change CommuniTEA, see if I can get a picture on that without the glare, please consider going to the website. You can go to kbretonttea.ca or you can go to thegreenwellcenter.com, go into the shop, order a bag of tea, let me ship it to you. And in there, I'm going to put in a coaster with a note, and that is celebrating our 10th year as a tea company. And I'll be able to send you a personal note and hopefully support you on your journey, but also you'll be supporting the Moyos back. And it would be so awesome to see all 15 children who are ready for school this week to be able to continue their studies, grow, learn, and thrive, just as we've been able to do. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to my wonderful guests and sharing them with you in the upcoming podcasts. Take care. Thank you for listening to Be Well with Dr. Michelle Greenwell. There are a couple of resources I want to just point out. When you go to the website, greenwellcenter.com, you'll have a pop-up window. That pop-up gives you the top 8 easy stress releasers that you can use every day. That's something you can put beside your computer, the bathroom mirror, beside the bedside table. A great resource. Also, my YouTube channel. It is full of playlists with all kinds of different ways that you can activate energy and bring vitality into your day. You can find that when you go to YouTube at Michelle Greenwell. And last, if you're a Linktree person, Linktree, linktr.ee/Greenwell Center. That has all my resources in one spot. Those are for intricate little things that you can't get everywhere. And it's a wonderful way for me to be able to share all the different aspects of the kind of work I do. So thank you for listening. Be sure to drink that tea. And if you want to have the tea blend that was shared in the podcast today, then be sure to check out kbretonttea.ca. Have a wonderful day.